Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Stock Market Brief. This is where I do analysis on QQQ and the 7 mega cap techs: Meta, Tesla, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia. We'll be doing their support and resistance levels, as well as the most likely scenario where I think market will be heading into later next week. So as of now, I am still a cautious bull. We do have fear and greed index close to almost extreme greed, right? Once it hits 75 of extreme greed. So once it starts, ticking up to the 80s, or then I would be a little pretty cautious as a bull. And if we're also looking at this AAI sentiment data, so we get this every Wednesday, and when it gets to like 50s, like this during like mid-September, then I'll be cautious as a bull. We'll probably get like a short-term something on the downside. But for now, technical wise, there's not really any red flag as of last week. Same thing I talked about last week, saying I'm a cautious bull, as long as the chart's telling me that the longer trend is still intact on the uptrend. I'm just going to continue to be a bull until this chart shows me otherwise. So let's say next week, right? We got this drop here where bears did make kind of enough room where, let's say we come up here and make a daily downtrend like this, where we break this prior low where we made on Tuesday. So if we break this low, then we have a daily downtrend. Then I'm more open to potentially look for bear shorts. But for now, not really. Even after Friday's good job data, obviously, and that's, you can see that spike in the morning where we have decent job data, and then we kind of give it all back, and it kind of just slowly grind back up to the high of the day. So I mean, obviously, we can say that the data could be revised later on, and blah blah blah. But which I think it'll probably get revised. But we trade what we see in front of us and how the market reacts to it. So the best scenario for me for a bull is just continuing this uptrend, break Thursday's high, and see if we can test all-time highs. Best scenario for bears, right? You get this big move down, get that daily downtrend, break this pivot low on Tuesday, and probably get more continuation if that happens. So those are the two scenarios I'll be watching. But for now, honestly, no signs of red flag yet. But I'm gonna be cautious. I don't want to just be a blind bull adding up all the way up here, because how extended we might be. So, and sometimes extended could be extended just like this, right? Meta. I talked about this last week. Don't short the all-time highs. Whichever ticker is at all-time highs, just don't short it. Same thing with gold. When I talk about the commodities, I'll be doing that tomorrow. Meta is just, we once broke this triple top, not looking back at all. Just kept on going, little grind, continuation of daily uptrend, and boom, we got this big move the last 2 days. We are overbought, but it doesn't matter. Overbought, we were overbought back here already at this move right here. See this? We're daily overbought, and it kept going, right? It moved another 7%, right? If you were shorted here, you'd been underwater for quite a bit, pretty fast as well. So just let us do this thing, and until it shows you that there is some kind of resistance somewhere, some price, then we know that's the temporary top, and we can play off of it, right? Similar to here, right? When we're first hit here, it was an all-time highs, and we don't know if it's going to keep going or not until it showed us that this is the level that there's resistance. And then next thing you know, right, rejected here again, rejected here again. So just let the chart tell you where it wants to stop at. But for now, right, no signs of that yet. We literally just closed half of the day, both days. But I wouldn't be surprised if we get a pullback because we are quite extended, but just cool things off a little bit. And next thing you know, we get another leg up if the market continues to be strong, right? So let's see how it goes. For now, bulls just maybe 600 psychological level, right? We're getting pretty close to 600. Yeah, or like 0.7 away. So 600 maybe act as psychological resistance, even number. That's the only thing I can see here. And then just let the chart tell you. All right, let's look at Tesla. Tesla here. Yeah, I did that equilibrium. Last week I talked about this tightening range. So This was the first tightening range that it broke out from. So it broke bull, but now we're getting a bigger tightening range, right? If you zoom into like the weekly, straight move up, straight move down, straight move up, but this move does not break the prior high, and now it's moving down again. So I don't think we're gonna tighten up into all the way down here, like kind of like this, where we go all the way down to close to the bottom and then tighten up like that. But the idea of it, just that tiny range, is that we didn't break the new high on the first try here, over here. So we didn't break the high on the first try. That means it will likely come down at least a little bit, and then to see where the bulls want to catch the bid. So right now we did have some upside here on Friday, so it's a good sign. We didn't have to go all the way down to the tiny range. If we continue to drop off, and I'm looking closer to this 233 for support, because this was the prior resistance right there. A lot of resistance there, so it's going to be support when we come down to it. And then I'll be looking closer to 223 if we continue to drop off for more support. If we bounce from here, then I'm looking to, if we break Friday's high, which is also Thursday's high, and also Wednesday's high. So if we break this to like 225, 221, sorry, 251, 251 level right there, there's a good chance we come back to test this prior high and break it. Then trend continues. The uptrend continues and no signs of red flags. So for your bears, you definitely want to break 233. Bulls, break this 251, 252 level first and head higher. For now, no signs of huge red flags yet. Right, weekly still looks good. We have so much room. Weekly uptrend confirmed right here, and this is just another weekly consolidation. So let's see if we get a continuation of the weekly uptrend. Amazon was a little weak during the week, probably because of that port strike, and we did get a bounce, tiny bounce after the port strike ended. I think it ended on Thursday overnight or something. Yeah, it's just going. Bigger picture is kind of going sideways, pretty much, right? This structure here. See how long we traded in this structure, and we're still in kind of in this structure. The high of here is pretty much the high of here, which is the low of this all-time high structure. So for me, Amazon needs to break above highs of this structure, this 192. And if we can break that, then we're looking at all-time high structure. And if we come back up and then it's kind of rejects and forms the daily downtrend, then we're looking down closer to this 177 for me. That happens. So if we break Thursday's low, that's a daily downtrend confirmed. And I'm looking closer to 177. That would be the best case for bears. And then 177 breaks that, then we're looking down closer to this 173 zone right here, last level support. And bulls definitely want to hold 173. Otherwise, probably going to flush to low of this range pretty fast. So not much level support other than 169. And for bulls, yeah, just get above this 193 level. We may potentially look for that all-time high structure right here, back here to potentially. If you get over 195, then we'll get a good chance we may test 200 again. All right, Google still very, very weak. Talked about this last week. Looks like it just kind of ended in the same price. Get over this first step for bulls, and we'll see if it can. Then it can. There will be a chance to potentially come up to closer to this around 172, 171 mark. We just need to get over this 168, 167 place, right? It's been chopping here for way too long. And did we get that inverse? Not kind of, not really, but yeah. But trend is still intact, so uptrend is still intact. So let's see if we can blow through that 168 Monday. If we get a Qs decide to be green, see if we can help Google break out of that. For now, we already tried to get over the last 4 days, pretty much this week. We couldn't. So for bears, you want to break below. If you can break below this 160, 2 structure, which is closer to this low of this structure, then we may come up down to test 159. For bulls, just break above this 168, 169 wall, and we may look for more closer to these levels, where it's like 171, 174. Microsoft is, let's see, oh, it's actually pretty weak. Trading view just moves my line all the time. But yeah, Microsoft is a little bit weak, and looks like it's the one dragging down the market. Even though the market was up Friday, you can see the Qs was up 1.19%. Microsoft was down pretty much flat. So relative weakness continuing still actually. Um, let's see, the next level of support I'll be looking at is, we're pretty much right on it. Maybe like, yeah, I don't trade off of these lines. These are more visual guides. But let's see if we can bounce from here and catch up to the market. Because we are pretty much back testing this structure where there was a cluster for a whole week. And yeah, pretty much bulls need to hold above 413 for me is where I want to see the bulls hold above. We come down a little bit and I want to see it bounce off of it. And break above, we need to really break above to 426. 426 around here. We can break above that, then we may probably retest 433. But for now, it's pretty weak. Obviously, it's the weakest out of all 7 currently. Not like chart wise, but recent relative weakness. The most weakest one would be definitely Google. But for now, let's see if Microsoft bulls can hold here. Bears take this. If bear breaks 413, then we're probably looking for 405, closer to 405. So let's see who breaks this week. Let's take a look at Apple. Apple holding up really well. No signs of red flags. Just going sideways. Going sideways, it's pretty much good for the bulls because right you're consolidating near all-time highs to get some fuel to potentially break higher. You just don't want to stay there for a really long time, going sideways like this, and then you just roll over. That would mean that was a distributing zone versus accumulation zone. So be a watch for that. But for now, no signs of red flags. Right, we continue to kind of bounce off of this trend line. Just kind of like bounce, 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 and it's kind of like going a little bit lower, but not really. So really, not much going on. Apple, right? If you look at the chart, I'm not doing much for 2 weeks. But as long as it's holding above its prior structures where it broke out from, and there's no red flags for the bulls, right? If you start coming back down here and break through these levels, then that's the red flag, right? So for bears, you guys definitely want to break pretty much this wall, right? Of support. You can see the last 4 days we just cannot break 223, and bears aren't going to go anywhere. We can't even break 223. So break 223, then we may look closer to 220 for me. And for bulls, let's see if we can try for all-time highs again. This triple top right here at 232. We can break 232, we're going all-time highs, which is 237. Just this little tiny candle there. But yeah, those are the both sides to play off of. And Nvidia, so Nvidia, the most important one at this moment because of how much it affects Nvidia affects the semiconductor sector. So we kind of got out of this tiny range, right? This resistance, support, resistance, rejected from there a couple of times, and we're kind of like above it now. So I would call this bull break, kind of like a back test. So it's good. So we broke bull in the morning with those job data, gapped up, everyone gapped up, and everyone came back. Back test, it's a good sign. So back test and bounce. Now this would be a valid, I wouldn't say like wouldn't trade off of it, but it's a valid support. So let's see if Nvidia can break above this structure. If we can't get over this, doesn't matter. We break out of this equilibrium on the bull side. It could have just come back because structures are more important than your sideways trend lines. So let's see. We're pretty much right under this right low of the structure. You can see on Thursday right here, we ejected from this structure as well. Big sell off into this structure. And now we're just coming right underneath it, right? If maybe I cannot break above this structure, which is from 125 to 130. Can't break above here. Bulls aren't really going anywhere. And if we reject from here again, we're probably coming back down to look for this 116 again. So those are two sides I'm looking at. Let's see if they can do that. Yeah, super key. So you can break this structure. That would be this pretty much the major resistance structure right here. Like I can totally just move this, kind of like the line here, and then we'll just still be tightening up. Right? So we're not really at bull break out of it or anything. You can always move these lines, and that's why it's more for visual guides. Um, but yeah, this structure is very key for me. So let's see if we break about that for bulls. And bears continue to reject from that structure, and we'll be back to 116 again. All right, that is all for you guys. I will do the commodities update tomorrow. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below and check out the YouTube page. Or if you guys looking for one-on-ones, check out the Patreon page on YouTube. The links are in the comments or in the description. And have a great rest of you guys' weekend.